exchange in Miami. Joining us now, we have Phil Brzenk with S&P Dow Jones Indices and Simeon Hyman with ProShares. Well, Simeon and Phil, it's great to have both of you with us.
Thanks very much.
So starting with you, Simeon, how have investors traditionally used covered call strategies?
Investors, a lot of them need income. So you write or sell these call options on stocks that you own, and you get paid for that. And that helps people fulfill their income goals. But it also has a little bit of a sacrifice because you're selling the upside of those stocks away. And the managing of that trade-off has been a real challenge for investors. Some are aware of it, some are not so aware of it.
And turning to you, Phil, what's the S&P 500 daily covered call index family? How does it work?
Yeah, so very excited to have launched this index series in October of last year. It includes the main index, which is the S&P 500 daily covered call index, which basically tracks the S&P 500 total return index with tracking a shorting of the S&P 500 weekly options on a daily basis. Essentially what this index does is it looks at a dynamic strike selection based on the level of the VIX index, which measures the future expectations in market volatility. Also, we have two subcomponent indices that we created just in terms of providing additional analysis for the markets. And what these track is, one, the performance of the call writing program, and secondly, the income stream. How much income are you actually getting? And income meaning both from option premiums and cash dividends from the underlying equity index.
And Phil, why do these indices track a daily covered call strategy instead of a more standard monthly or weekly approach?
Yeah, so doing a daily call writing program offers a few different benefits, mainly in terms of flexibility and reduction of timing risk. So what that means is doing a daily program gives you the ability to reset the strike every single day, so you're not doing this on a monthly basis. What that means is you can react to market conditions, changing market conditions on a quicker basis relative to a program that may just do it on a monthly basis. In addition, what this means is you have upside market participation every single day, potentially, as opposed to a monthly program where you may have a strong market's upswing during the month and you'll be stuck at the cap performance until the next option roll period.
And Phil, how has the S&P 500 daily covered call index historically performed?
Yeah, so the back-tested history is somewhat limited just due to the availability of options going back to June of 2022. But for that time period, what we saw is relative inline performance with the S&P 500 total return index. But if you look at 2023 in particular, very close performance, 25.9% performance for the daily covered call strategy relative to 26.2% for the S&P 500. However, if you kind of take additional steps and really go through the lens of what other benefits does this bring, a covered call strategy brings income. And what we see for 2023 is a 10.8% distribution amount, which includes both the call option premium and also cash dividends.
And Simeon, what are some of the potential benefits of a passive approach to covered calls?
The passive approach to monthly covered call writing, the classic approach, is challenged by the trade-off of income generation and the sacrifice of returns of the thing that you own. There's an index for monthly covered call writing, and in 2023, the S&P was up over 26%. That monthly covered call index was up about 11. That's a big sacrifice. Now, folks have tried to address that actively. Maybe I'll write my monthly options way out of the money. Maybe I'll only write calls on a small subset of the stocks I own. But it turns out that by following a strategy driven by daily covered calls, you can do it passively and resolve those trade-offs. And in fact, what we've seen so far, the strategy most recently generated a distribution, and the distribution rate annualized would be over 11%. So that looks pretty good so far.
Well, Phil and Simeon, great to have both of you with us.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
And thank you to everyone watching. Once again, we're here at Exchange in Miami, and I was joined by Phil Brzenk with S&P Dow Jones Indices and Simeon Hyman with ProShares. I'm Jenna Dagenhart with Asset TV.